some big potential changes to American economic policy are effectively on the ballot this November. Join us now to talk about what could be ahead, as well as expectations for Federal Reserve rate cuts. Ludovic Subran, Allianz chief economist, and I guess we're all wondering whether it really does happen in September. I guess you figure we'll do it in September, not this week.
Yeah, I think this week is a bit too early, but September definitely. And then November, I think the FOMC is a couple of days after the actual election, so that's going to be tricky. And then we have another cut in December, so that's 50 basis points of cuts this year, yeah.
So that's where we are. Okay, so it's not really a pause in November, it's just a...
Yeah, it's kind of a pause. I think the bigger question for everybody is 2025, because if Trump gets reelected, he's a form of triple whammy for inflation, right? Deporting 7 million people, kind of tariffs, you know, going back to the 70s. And now he's talking about reignited the Plaza Accord, so devaluation of the dollar by 30%. So that means almost a point to 2 points more of inflation in 25. So that means the Fed won't be able to cut in 25. So that's what we will be watching, the terminal rates in 25, yeah.
So his policies will be that much different this time than last time?
I think it's very close to what he did last time, especially if he does
last time we didn't have 9% inflation.
Well, we didn't have supply-side shocks like we have today, where every time there is a boat stuck somewhere, you don't get what you want unless you have a 30%.
You don't tie any of it to the overdoing the stimulus.
I do think so. In the U.S., yes, maybe less in Europe. I think there is maybe a third of the inflation that is linked to overreacting, because we were all very shocked still from the GFC, right? So from the global financial crisis, right? So this time around, he's going to be also very strong on tax cuts. He's going to maybe do another Home Repatriation Act. So I think the fiscal stability issues are going to be up on the, going to be on the front stage. But the bigger issues for me are the supply side issues, jobs, trade, and the discredit on the Fed, because this is really what it's going to be about for investors.
You think the credibility of the Fed is going to be on the line?
Of course. I mean, look at VP candidate J.D. Vance. He's basically questioning the international reserve currency status of the dollar. I mean, that's pretty bold a statement, I would say. Yeah.
I don't know. Vice presidents say a lot of things.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know whether that...
And it's the campaign.
Do you think that your view is shared with folks in France and Europe? I mean, you're looking at this as sort of outside in, we're maybe the inside out. I'm very curious sort of whether you think your view is the conventional wisdom or is
Look, I think for everybody outside of the U.S., I mean, we know President Trump may be very short positive for the U.S. Midterm, it's going to be negative for the U.S. if there is a boom bust. But for us in Europe, it's going to be negative on day one, because he's talking about solving the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He's talking about reenacting the U.S.-China rivalry. So, of course, outside of the U.S., people are concerned about the re-election of President Trump, because he's, America first also means that the other comes second. And that does mean that it's going to be quite, a dislocation for markets also for us in Europe.
So there's going to be, regardless, there's going to be currency fluctuations or going to be something we have to deal with.
I mean, the dollar has been pretty strong. I think the growth differential and the interest rate differential is in favor of a higher dollar compared to the euro going forward. But of course, it's going to be about credit, and especially the bickering between the Fed and the president could be a reason for a weaker dollar going forward. Yeah.
Okay. How about you decided that Vietnam was something we need to talk about? This is a sea change.
Well, anything that is about market economy status is quite interesting. Vietnam is one of these countries that is benefiting from reshoring, is really taken hostage of the U.S.-China rivalry in the Southeast Asian country. So that's why last week we wrote about Vietnam, because it's a very big and growing economy that used to side with China no matter what, and now is starting to take some form of independence, like a lot of the countries in the region, because they're worried about trade war. They're worried also about financial flows being a bit at risk in the region. So that's good news, yeah.
We keep reporting about weakness in different areas of China. I mean, the Southeast Asia, not so much, but China, if you look at it, luxury goods, we just had another story this morning about something totally different.
I mean, look, it's going to take 10 years for China to recover from this real estate crisis, like any country, like Japan or Spain. So I think there's still a very depressed consumer. The savings rate is at the record high level. So I think it's going to take more than a mini stimulus to basically create confidence and forward visibility for the Chinese investors and consumers. Yeah.
Right. We, in the United States, we kind of look over here and wonder about your politics as well. I know you're kind of, judging ours.
We said we won't talk about Macron.
Yeah, I think we need to. What's going to finally happen there? And they're throwing out incumbents wherever they are at this point. Why?
Look, the big
immigration over here is not everyone's favorite topic either.
No, for sure. It's very polarized society here too. I think the Macron snap elections really took everybody a bit by surprise after we had quite conventional European elections. So that's going to be the one to watch, because the core of Europe, we have 100 billion of fiscal adjustment to do if we want to comply with what we promised Brussels last May. So it's going to be all about fiscal policy and fiscal orthodoxy. The Germans are keeping us on our toes on that one. And Italy, France, a lot of countries are not complying with what they actually promised a couple months ago. So that's going to be really one of the talks in the fall, I would say. And that's why whatever happens from the Fed is going to be very important to what Christine Lagarde decides to do here with the ECB. So the ECB may be the last, man standing when we have these political problems in France, but also in other countries, Spain, Netherlands, etc., etc.
And what will supply the energy for all of Europe?
Well, the U.S., and you're welcome. Yeah, we're trying to swap.
You mean thank you?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, I don't know about that because the price is very high, my friend. So it's a symbiotic.
But what about nuclear? So France, fine. Germany, not so much.
No, Germany has, they're talking about building 9,000 kilometers, I don't know how much it makes in miles, of hydrogen, pipes. Germany has to find a solution, using wind, solar, maybe a bit of coal, and certainly some of the grand innovation, but they have a problem of energy that is going to stick, that's the big issue.
Well,
here we're a bit better off, but that's not much better, yeah.
China and India know exactly how to.
Yeah, Norway and the UK, a lot of countries already have a bit of an edge on that one. So, yeah, fiscal, energy, this is defense is going to be also a big issue for us, towards the end of the year, that's for sure.